Hey, what's up? Welcome to part 2. This is Wednesday, or if you paid for, you're on the Patreon and you get to watch it Monday. Anyways, this is what are we doing right now, Ricky?
Bar enemy, bar friend.
Bar enemy, bar friend. All right. Let's start this up.
So earlier we did talk about Irish car bombs a little bit. What do you think? And you also seem very well versed in terms of like cocktails and everything that encompasses. What would you say is the most offensive drink that you could ever order?
Depends. I don't know. I don't know what the gradient is, but I gotta tell you, like, something about green tea shots just upsets me.
So it offends you as a human, not okay. Yeah.
Oh, as far as offensive shots go,
like,
definitely the kamikaze,
like,
dude. The
wokeness?
kamikaze to me is hilarious. But what's funny about the kamikaze is there's nothing in it that's Japanese. It's just they just.
Ricky, what's in the
appropriate
kamikaze?
It's a very tragic landing. Vodka, triple sec lime.
None of which were made in Japan.
No, not at all.
We're just like, hey, by the way, remember when you bombed us? You fucks.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
shitty. Yeah, it's shitty, dude. Like, right?
Hey, everybody, let me know how Oppenheimer was.
It's just as shitty
also,
as that fucking Pearl Harbor movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Actually, yeah, agreed.
That was a love story.
That was.
I didn't understand why they needed
It was a
the
love
war
story that was
backdrop,
weird.
but it was
Also,
a love
I
story.
feel like the love stories with the
You
war
ever
thing.
fucked your friend's girlfriend after they broke up? That's my bar enemy bar friend question. You ever hook up with a friend's girlfriend after they broke up?
I've done it before they broke up.
Oh, you fucking did.
Well, in my defense, they were both lesbians, I thought. And then when one of them grabbed my dick, I was like, I've always wanted this. This is great. You're like my best friend. And then also you have a beautiful vagine.
I had these lesbian girls that they come into my bar a bunch. They actually gifted me this watch.
So you're not worried that like your
Ricky,
real dick
fucking dickhead
doesn't
I was trying to
match up to
The fake dick?
yeah, because they don't have to worry about coming. They can just fucking, as long as they can pound
Dude,
it out.
I like to use the fake dick
The real
sometimes,
thing.
man. Like, not on me. I'm not wearing it. But, like, we had this shower thing. It was, like, forearm length. And it was like, yo, ride that while you suck me off. I'm good with it. Like, I'm good. I'm about it.
The moment you start viewing these things as your friends and not your enemies, you're gonna have a great time.
Well, I always view everybody as my friend. And if
No,
they're
that's
having
not my
sex with me, they're really, really good friends.
I'll give you that. No, it was a stupid joke I was trying to do. I was like, my lesbian regulars gave me this watch, and I was like, thank you, but I said I want to watch. But I appreciate you cutting off.
Did you get to watch?
No, it was just a joke I was just throwing out
Exit.
there.
Oh, damn.
I have watched a lesbian threesome once.
3 lesbians were just like triple scissoring?
It was
Doing
more
whatever-
like
doing whatever they
it was
want,
more
and
like
you-
one of
yeah.
them was getting sandwiched by the other two in essence.
Was
but-
there a strap-on
You
involved?
shouldn't use gender normative terms like sandwich. This guy.
It's
This is
torta.
This is the show. This is why we're never going to be anything. Torta's good. You like throwing Spanish words in there just every now and
I
then.
just like the Spanish
Yeah.
women. And so if
Oh,
any
the
Spanish
Florida-
women want to
the
be
Florida
sandwiched.
makes sense. The Florida makes sense, yeah. Good for you, man. That's awesome. You just got to watch. Just sit there.
That's it.
You got. Well, I'll ask you a question. Have you ever been catfished?
Yeah, actually. So I've been doing the Hinge app. I installed it recently.
Hinge
I got
is the
catfished.
one where they hit you up first.
So is this like your craziest catfish story?
Actually, no. My craziest
here's the
catfish
thing.
story is actually better than this. I've been catfished
most people,
twice.
Most people only have one catfish
All
story.
right, well let's
I have
hear the
two.
better one then.
Let's hear the
Okay,
crazy one.
yeah, you're right. The better one.
We're
So the
tight on
better
time,
one.
yeah, we're tight on
So
time.
the better one. It was on a fetish website, and I was
okay.
branching out from Hinge after I got catfished, and I was like, fuck, it, I'm just gonna go online, just cut to the chase.
There you go.
And
We on
she reached
FetLife?
out to me.
Dom Daddy
yeah,
looking
dude.
for sub.
Yeah, you fucking know. You fucking know. Am I that?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you guys would definitely want to have conversations
Yeah,
off the show, maybe.
off
Yeah.
the show, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to tank. So this girl reached out. Things were really good, and I just realized I wasn't actually technically catfish. It was just blackmail. But I think this is a better story anyway. I'm gonna go for this. This is my dating license. I moved to Virginia, and I'm so desperate to get the fuck out. I went from I'm so sorry. I forgot. She actually is a real person out there. But she demanded I send her money, or she would send a video to my mom and my sister of me jerking off. And I was like, you picked the wrong one. I don't
They
give
already
a fuck.
have the video.
I literally reached out to my mom and my sister in a group text. I was like, hey, by the way, if Shelby texts you, it's probably because it's got a video of me jerking off and she's trying to shame me. So I sent her a screenshot of that. And I was like, literally last week I was watching like John Wick or some shit, and there's something that has to do with blackmail. And I was like, wrong way. So I don't know how I went from blackmail to catfish, but I do feel like catfish is
you pull the who was it? Lady Gaga who released their nudes? Who was it?
Lady Gaga and there's another
Someone, some celebrity. It was either Lady Gaga. No, I think it was Rihanna. So, reporter hit her up, was like, "Hey, we got some of your nudes. We're gonna post them." She goes, and just sent them out.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
also, like,
yo, boss bitch moves, boss bitch moves.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if I was wearing like a pig mask and like a diaper and like
Well, they can't tell who you're.
You're right, though.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Unless
I'm saying, like, I wasn't doing anything shameful.
Unless they're gonna look at the
I
tattoos.
was just stroking it off consensually with a woman,
You're
and then
jerking your gherkin.
and it was like, dude, my family doesn't give a shit.
Okay.
If you feel confident about like what you got going on, you're really not
I'm
gonna
definitely
care.
confident. I wasn't confident about that video. So we met on FetLife, but she was a dom, and I was also a dom. So it was like I was the first time I subbed, and it was definitely not my strongest jerk off game.
Did she tie
for
you
sure.
up to the Andrew Cross?
No, she just wanted me to go from soft to hard, and I was like, no. Daddy starts off hard.
Oh, if you're sub, you gotta do what they're saying. You ever go to the Fet Ball in DC?
No, dude.
It's a fun party.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
fun
When
party.
is that?
It's in December.
Oh, I'm about it.
It's a weird little Christmas party.
Which is kind of solid because it's really close to Saturnalia.
The last I went, they had it at an Ultra Bar, and which was weird because Ultra Bar to me is just the bar that underage children go to. And then I went there, and I was like, oh, this is also where the tassels are at. So
Sick.
could be naked.
This is a good segue. What drink do you think is the biggest panty dropper?
Or man pants dropper.
Any drink that I make.
Confident.
I'm telling you. Like, my favorite thing is when a girl walks up. Like, so when I was working at the King's Ransom, it was like a very heavy date spot. And my thing is, like, I don't mean to toot my own horn. Decent looking dude. Very confident. When a woman comes in and doesn't know what she wants, and I give her exactly what she wants, and then her date goes sideways, I always feel like I gotta you gotta play that tip game. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like too involved, but at the same time, you're like,
Wait, the tip came like you're trying to get a little money, or
No, he's trying to play a game called Just the Tip.
Just
for
I
a
know.
second.
That's I just wanted to clarify.
That's only for Catholic women.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. Jeez. All right. Fucking hey, good for you. So you just slide in on broken first dates, and that's your game.
I do
At that
only
bar, sorry, at that
if I
bar.
feel like, because like I'm not gonna lie, like before I went through my fuckboy years in my mid 20s, I was always like white knight, and that's what kind of like propagated the. So like I had a tendency to try to save women that couldn't save themselves and whatnot.
You like that Nightingale syndrome?
So my thing is like if I feel like a woman needs like saving, like like I've seen bad first dates, and like that happens to everybody. But you have some woman who's like on a bad first date that just needs to feel like, can somebody not?
A woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A real woman.
Okay. So how do you feel about that now? Now that you're quote unquote out of your fuckboy days, how do you feel about when you see a bartender who's sliding in on a woman on a failed first date? Are you like?
I think it's predatory, dude.
Okay.
You're serving up out to a degree. So consent. Here's the thing.
To a degree, when he was doing it was not.
No. We're gonna go down to my basic principles for as a dominant. So my system is you need consent first, and once you have consent, you're good. You have consent, respect, communication, and
CRC: consent, respect, communication.
Yeah, you gotta have that. So like the
You gotta
thing
have
is
an
like
acronym. You gotta have
so
an
like
acronym.
if a girl's like had a couple like vodka sodas and then you kind of slide in, that's one thing. But I've also witnessed like people who slide in when the girl's like this, and her date leaves because they're like, you're way too trashed. Figure your shit out, girl, and they leave, and then the bartender swoops in. So like there could be a predatory aspect because like at the end of the day we're serving alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
So like when people are fucked up, that's the other weird thing about being a bartender too is like you get to see this different side of people sometimes where like people are just like they're pushed in and they're like my life's hard. I got my wife, I got my daughter, I got my family, I got my job, and they come out and they're like, I'm gonna get fucked up and be fun. I'm gonna be fun me, and like, but that's not who they are because they aren't embracing their self. So like I feel like it's a spectrum, dude.
Okay.
So like if you're always picking up women who are coming to your bar,
it's I guess it's a double-edged sword. The fact that you can still see it today and see it happening and go like, okay, well, it's not 100% a terrible predatory thing to do, but there's a predatory aspect to it, means that you have learned and grew from the situation, but you also don't like regret all the things that you did because you weren't being as shitty as you're seeing it happen sometimes.
agreed. Yeah.
Good for you. That's
Growth
awesome.
is huge.
I get that for you. I guess my question would be like, how do you feel about pronouns Like, have you ever gotten someone's pronouns wrong at the bar?
100%. I've gotten people.
Because you were in Oregon a bunch. I feel like that happens a lot.
Oh yeah, and my thing is I usually apologize profusely, which I think is actually an aggressive oversight. Because like, to be honest, like I've been fucked up sometimes and accidentally called my obviously dude friends like she, like oh she's over there, oh shit, and then I just kind of move on. And when you hyperfixate on the pronoun, so like if somebody trusts you enough,
hyperfixate as the person telling or the person receiving.
Both. No. More the one giving. So like if somebody comes up to you and like, hey, by the way, my pronouns are he, she, they. That's a trust. That's almost it's the equivalent of somebody coming out to you and being like, hey, by the way, I'm gay. So if somebody comes at you with that, you can respect it, but you don't need to like over. So like, there's no reason for you to apologize and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, like I'm so whatever. Yeah. Like you don't want to make it a weird thing.
Oh yeah, of course,
just like gloss over it and make it like, this is it. Yeah. Your pronouns are she, he. I'm doing it.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
It's respect, dude.
Yeah, because a lot of people make the biggest deals of it, and then that makes it even worse.
It makes it so much worse.
Regrets, yeah.
Like if I actually referred to you as she, I wouldn't be like on my fucking hands and knees.
Oh my god,
like,
I had. No
I'm so
idea.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Like you don't make it a thing. They just that's how they identify.
But if you accidentally call like a butch lesbian a he, are you like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like I really didn't mean that. Like I apologize.
Well, this is why I was such a good fuckboy. I get away with just saying what I think, and so normally I'd be like, oh my god, you look so masculine that I just assumed, and I'm so sorry. What are your pronouns?
I feel like he has a handicap of +4 with the like. You have within that community, you're just off look. You're like they're like. Oh, ally, 100%. So like, if you're getting it wrong, it's not out of ignorance.
I'm LA as fuck, dude.
If we get it wrong, it's out of ignorance. If you get it wrong, it's just because it was a common mistake.
100%.
But if I'm like, oh, how you doing, ma'am? Like, you call me ma'am, I'm like, that's not out of hatred, 100%. Like, let's have a conversation. But,
so when I was out in Denver, actually, my friend group was mostly trans, mostly gay, and I refer to myself as the token sissy.
Oh, sissy.
All the time, which is funny because like a lot of the women that were switching over to men. Like they were like, I like your confidence. I admire your ability to carry yourself wherever you go, and I kind of want that. And I was like, you don't want what I got, dude. It's fucking rough.
You don't want this shit, baby.
I'm a people pleaser at the end of the day. Like it's fucking, it's brutal. But like I respect it.
You don't want to go down the alleys of the doors that.
But I make fun of myself, and that's the thing. It's like
self-deprecation is very important.
Self-deprecation is my sense of humor, and that's actually I saw it in a Battle of the Sexes.
You ugly bitch.
Yeah, that's right. I am an ugly bitch.
Self-deprecation is very important. I do like that. A lot of people within the community only see themselves as winners, and everything they do needs to be respected by everyone else. I'm like, no, you also have to respect your L's. Like that's going to happen, and whether or not that is within your sexuality or whether it's your personal life, let's not pretend that you're perfect because I'm not. You're not. Everyone isn't. Like. I do enjoy that aspect of people where like they can laugh at themselves. And
well, my issue is I think actually Dave Chappelle had a really good stand-up bit about it, where he was talking about like how he's like, yeah, the trans community was against him because he made a joke, and I was like, if you get to the point where people can't make jokes about you, at the end of the day, like you're not human. Like that's not human. It's not human to do that because like
you're protecting your community because you view yourself. This is my opinion. If you can't make a joke about something and you're rallying, the wagons around it, you're not viewing yourself as an equal to society, but lesser than. Where you're like, you guys,
greater than.
You guys can't even get. Well, they think greater than, but I think on the societal scale, you're like, oh wait, now you're treating yourself like you're greater than, which makes you to me as the outsider lesser than. Because if I can't even make a joke about you guys, it's not because you're equal. It's because I have to coddle my words and emotions based off of how you're going to react on that. Not because you're my equal, but because now to me, this is not me, but me in the sense of this argument, as you are now lesser than that. I have to tiptoe around your feelings. And that's not fair to. I don't think it's fair.
That's
to
not.
anybody.
No. You shouldn't. If you feel the need to communicate in that way, but like. Thing is, like,
this is not good bar talk.
Problem,
it's terrible bar talk.
This is terrible bar talk. That's why I was really pumped to come on it. So actually, what we were talking about when you invited me on the show was there's this weird pendulum that's swinging, and so at the end of the day,
the pendulum, yeah.
You can't fight back fire with fire. So like the people who are like, oh man, is this problematic?
Yeah,
those are not the problem.
Yeah.
The people who are like, I fucking hate faggots and I hate gays and I hate this. Those are the problem, and you're not gonna win.
I gotta call my uncle.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah. No, I got a couple in my family too.
Speaking on that pendulum swing, I always bring this up when we talk about the pendulum swing of culture like that. In 1967, the movie of the year that won the Oscar, Sound of Music, which we did theater together. That is one of those you're just like, wow.
Hate it.
All right, cool. I mean, there's underage sex in there that they don't talk about. There's Nazis in there that they just
Somehow
like,
the World War
over.
II was the backdrop.
It's the backdrop to an underage fucktail. That's all it is, but it's a wholesome story, quote unquote. 1967, 1969. You know what won movie of the year? Midnight Cowboy. You got to watch Midnight Cowboy. You're gonna love it. It's about a gay male sex prostitute in California. That is a 2-year shift of culture. So when you talk about the pendulum swing, that's always my go-to example. I was like, look, within 2 years, we went from the most wholesome movie in the world, being the greatest movie, quote unquote, of the year, to gay sex prostitutes. Like the pendulum swings back and forth. When we're hitting one side where it's all woke, this, that, and the other, it's going to swing back.
I had to watch the movie then because
I
I always felt like so. I've always been in LA, so just might blow your mind. I'm straight as fuck.
Oh, true. Okay.
Never,
thought-
I made out with
I thought
one
you were on the
guy. I
spectrum
made
a
out
little
with
bit, yeah.
one guy,
Was
so
it
he
Levi?
could get a
'Cause I
blowjob.
did.
Oh. Really, dude? Man, good for you, man.
It was
He's a
a
beautiful
stage
man.
scene, yeah.
Beautiful man. I made out with a guy once to get him a blowjob from a girl because she just wanted to see two guys kissing, and like I got that. Like I fucking tongue action, fucking in there.
He
but
made
then,
out with a dude so that dude could get blown.
because I'm a good wingman.
That's wildly. You're an amazing friend.
It's only
That's-
gay if you come.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't
does
even.
say that. It's
I
called a bro-
hated the
it's
whole
called a
thing.
bro job.
Dude. Dude. I bro
This
job
is a Ricky.
so good.
This is a Ricky Bargoyles tip of the day.
That's good.
It's only gay if you come. That's he says that. He says that like every 4 episodes. It's one of his.
I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it. And then the other time, I was like fucked up on Molly at a rave, and I was hanging out
You
with
said
this
it was
one
one time. Now it's 2 times.
all
He
right,
says it's
so-
2 times. And it's gonna do it 3
All
times.
right, so
Yeah.
what's the longest bender you've ever been on?
Ooh. You
4
guys-
days, and it fucking hurt, dude.
Oh, what were you doing? Where were you at?
So I was out in Hawaii. I was
transition.
Terminal Lance, as I mentioned before, so I got in trouble a lot. And so I was on a 4-day bender. I did Molly for the first 2 days, and then the second 2 days I did mushrooms. And on the last day,
Molly
we were
was
saying
good.
goodbye to somebody. She was dying. This is going to be heavy. She was dying from cancer.
Okay, that happens.
And we decided to do mushrooms. By we, I
With
mean
her?
no, with her, yeah.
Hell yeah.
But by we, I mean
Hell yeah.
I was like, yo, if we all got fucked up on mushrooms after not
Hey,
sleeping
all
for
of us
3
love
days,
this idea. All of us would love
we
this
should
idea.
do this.
Yeah.
And you know what ended up happening is we scurried away like weird ants into corners to fucking cry and like
Oh, of course,
mourn
yeah.
the loss of a friend while we were like fucked up on mushrooms.
While she's sitting in the middle of the room, just like
That sounds horrible.
dealing with her mortality.
It was actually the most beautiful experience, and this is why I think hallucinogenics are the future. Because, like, at the end of it, after we all kind of, because here's the thing, emotions are like a weird thing where, like, you sometimes have to process it on your own. But like when we came back together afterwards, it was solid. Like we came back together afterwards, and like my eyes were red eye puffy. I was texting my mom till my phone died, and I was like, why do I feel like shit?
Did you
I
have
was
an
like,
ego death?
I did.
Yeah, good
It
for
was
you.
the first ego death.
Oh, wow, good for you.
I only
Yeah.
had 2.
Describe to the guests watching at home what's an ego death if those don't know.
So ego death is the moment where it's like a meditative state. I got mine from 4 days of doing a lot of drugs.
This is that same bender?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that bender. So that bender, you reach a moment where you see yourself as finite and you recognize you're going to die. But before, for me personally, my personal experience was recognizing everybody that I loved and care about and have communicated with is also going to die. It's like pulling off petals from a flower. And at the end of it, I recognized
You just have a seed left for another flower.
that's it. That's just what it is. And so what you have to do is be the seed. And that was actually the beginning of the end of my fuckboy years.
That makes sense. You seem like a cream pie guy.
So on day 2, I had a full-length mirror at the foot of my barracks bed, and I was fucking this girl. I, to this day, don't know her name. Wherever you are, thank you for the sex.
Shout out, like, and subscribe.
But we were having sex, and I was grabbing her by the hair, and I looked down at the mirror, and I saw emptiness, and I was just like, in my eyes, I made eye contact with myself, which you shouldn't do
You
if
should
you're
never.
having mirror sex.
No.
You should make contact with her
In the
eyes.
mirror, you don't have eye contact, but if you're jerking off to your girl on FaceTime, I'm only looking at my face.
It's so he lasts longer.
I have so many questions.
You've never done long distance, obviously, but you know.
No, I have, but
Did you still get a finish with this lady?
It did not.
I was
that
gonna
was
say,
actually
yeah.
so. Here's the thing: is like I went through the fuckboy years, drove that in deeply, and then I started recognizing like unless I was fucked up, like I couldn't really like. I need an emotional connection at the end of the day. Like
I get
it's
that.
important. It's important.
I can recall the last lady I slept with on a one night where I was like, I think I'm done with these one nights. I think I was like, I didn't think, I was like, this is it for me. I'm going to move on, and whatever I find in the future is what I'm going to find. But like I was just done with that.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I wasn't high though, so I didn't need drugs for that. This guy though needed drugs. It's disgusting. We don't support drugs here.
So have you ever been kicked out of a bar? And if so, do you have like a crazy story behind it?
Actually, we referenced this earlier tonight, and I needed to mention.
Oh, I think you did say you wanted to mention it. Yeah, okay, what do you got?
So when I went to King's Ransom and came back, my cat had died 2 years.
King's Ransom sounds like a very predatory bar. I'm just letting you know.
Not King's Ransom. Sorry, Queen's Gambit. I'm getting my royalty confused. Gender swapping. I'm gender swapping
Queen's
so
Gambit.
hard.
You gotta really fuck up to get kicked out of Queen's Gambit.
Dude, I had one beer with Isaac. Remember?
Yeah.
I got that one beer, and then we were trying to get her hooked up with somebody, and we wanted to do karaoke.
I'm Isaac.
Yeah.
Hold on. So
was
this
I'm
this
so happy that you were.
Was I was at Queen's Gambit?
No, you weren't King's Gambit. You were at.
When I sent you guys at Queen's Gambit.
You were at your.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
this is when you're trying to hook up your cousin, who was
Freshly
recently
divorced.
So
divorced.
so
She
I was
recently
focused on getting her
You were
laid,
busy that night. I text you.
and
I didn't text
so we went over to Queen's Gambit, and my cat had died 2 days previous.
Oh, jeez.
So like, here's the thing: when I go through like emotional shit, my number one thing is take care of other people.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to handle my shit.
So yeah, that's
I
a very
don't.
that's a very Robin Williams thing of you to do.
I channel with that. We'll talk about that later.
There you go.
Off.
No,
mic.
I'll show you.
Yeah,
we got like 5 minutes. Yeah.
We got 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay,
at
so
most.
so anyway, so I went to there, and like, you ever just carry around stuff where you're like everything sucks, and you're just like, this is fine, and then somebody makes eye contact with you, and they're like, how are you doing?
It just hits.
And then so like the bartender did that. Like it wasn't like a hey, how's it going? It was like a
RJ?
How are you doing? I actually don't remember. No. It's
Short Filipino.
no, it was a woman that used to work there. She's pregnant
I
now.
don't know a lot of the girls that work there. Yeah, I know the dudes.
I don't know if she works there still, but anyway, she was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, "My cat died 2 days ago. He was 2 years old," and I just broke down crying.
It's
And the owner of Queen's Gambit,
Glenn.
his
Shout out Glenn.
wife saw me crying, and it upset her. So he was like, "You're cut off," and I was like,
Wow, Filipino people are really emotional. So
I done some fuck shit.
It's a Filipino
I done some fuck
bar.
shit.
I
It
thought
was
they-
the
I
first
thought they were just like,
first beer.
"Hi, Nicole.
I got kicked out.
Can you bring them here so we can cook them? Like, Filipinos, but
Yeah,
no, that's rough. They kicked
man.
you out because you got emotional.
yeah.
So that's your craziest getting kicked out of a party?
Oh no, that's my most upset. My craziest is probably when I tried to fight a bouncer and then punched the cab driver.
Wait, what?
Who called the cab?
I did.
So
So
you
here's what
tried to fight
happened.
the bouncer,
So check this out.
Called yourself a cab.
We're
and
in the
then
Marine
hit
Corps.
cab
We're in the
driver?
Marine Corps, and all of us were 21. Liddell was the newest show up. He was a PFC and also kind of a piece of shit at that moment. Like he had a lot of like working development to do. He showed up and was like, "When can I get my house?" And everybody's like, "You're in the barracks, bitch."
Bro, what
Like,
the fuck? You need to get a charger first.
And then a sergeant walked in to like tell him like, "You're in the barracks, bitch." And then he was like, "Fuck off." And I was like, "That's a sergeant. You're a PFC." So this guy was in some trouble. So we were a little bit manipulating that system to allow him to be our DD.
Yeah.
He fell asleep in my car, and
Oh, you punched him. Okay, I think you called the cab.
no, I did a bunch of cab driver.
Oh, Jesus, sorry.
But
Keep going.
I
Sorry,
was
I'm
too
sorry. I'm
drunk.
jumping
I
to
was
the
too
end.
drunk.
Sorry.
So when I got out of the car, I really had to pee, and so I peed on this Corvette, and it was really nice, and laughed maniacally while doing it. And I guess somebody saw me do it.
Fuck capitalism.
That's how I was feeling, dude.
Okay, yeah.
And then so I was like,
You also have
writing
that
it
look
out.
about you too. Yeah.
Writing it out, and then I guess somebody saw me do that, so they slashed 2 of my tires while Liddell was sleeping
How
in
did
the
he know
car.
what car you had? You were peeing on a Corvette, and they knew. What
Yeah,
car
we
you were
pulled
driving?
up in a parking garage. I saw a really fancy Corvette, and I was like, "Fuck you!" And then I went to the strip club, and then somebody saw me do that and slashed both my tires on one side. So Liddell came up to me and told me about this after I got kicked out of the strip club for talking to the strippers, because like
That's
I had
not
like
why- that's
I had
not
3
why you got kicked out.
It is why I got kicked
That's
out.
not why you got kicked
That's
out.
100% why I
That
got
is how
kicked
they
out.
make their money.
100%. Dude, I'm telling you, dude.
Okay.
I wasn't
alright.
paying them. I was just
Okay.
talking to them. I was like, hey,
Alright.
like
Oh, so you got kicked out for not spending money?
That's where you got kicked out for.
that, yeah.
Okay, I was like, let's be
Well, here's
honest.
the thing, too. I
Let's
also-
be honest here.
I also had a reputation that preceded me. I would go to strip clubs and just like
Okay.
hang out and vibe, and then try to pick up strippers a
Okay.
little bit. So
That's
I
nothing wrong with
guess
that.
I guess Hawaii by Night reached out to this place and then let them know about my reputation. They're like, oh, he's like, I spend money. But I was making the strippers feel really comfortable. I had like 3 women I was talking to.
You think the
then,
manager
like-
cares about whether they're comfortable?
When you say
I
talking
care.
to, was it just like, oh, like what made you become a stripper? Like, what are you doing with your life? Like,
Yeah, no, 100%, dude.
can
I was like, yo,
save
tell me
you.
about
I
you.
can save
Yeah,
you.
dude. The white knight comes in with a fuck boy in a weird way. So anyway, I get kicked out of the strip club,
You
and I'm like,
graduated from White Knight. You
yeah.
did.
And then I was like, I got kicked out of the strip club, and then as I got kicked out of the strip club, I was like, I didn't do anything. I was just talking to the strippers. I thought you're supposed to do that. And then
You're supposed to talk to him.
no, you're supposed to buy dances.
I'm not gonna pay for that shit.
Okay, there you go. That's why
So-
you got kicked out.
So one of my dad's biggest pieces of advice, because I didn't meet my dad till I was 18. One of his
Oh
biggest,
fuck.
one of his biggest pieces of advice, he's like, if you're ever at a strip club, he's like, treat them like shit. He's like, they're so used to their nuts being sweated all the time. He's like, you treat them like shit. They don't know how to act, and they like are all over you because of it. So he's like, oh yeah, go to a strip club, treat them like shit. They don't know how to act. They're all over you because of it. Blah 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 blah. This is the way to go.
That's not the way to
Ricky,
go.
look at the camera and say Bargoyles tip of the day.
Bargoyles
Not
tip
it.
of the day.
So fucking up.
Treat strippers like shit.
That's fucking
Always treat him
awful.
like gold, baby.
That's his dad's advice. That's terrible. He treats him like
I
gold.
treat him like gold.
So, you know, you got 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Neither one of y'all are dating strippers. It's fine. It's
Yes.
whatever. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I have to. It's
well,
awful. But I knew him before they
alright.
get close. It's not a big deal.
Anyway,
I
you got
I
one
did-
more question, Isaac? One last one?
I did have one.
I
other
gotta
question
pee
for
like a
you.
motherfucker.
Good, because I just got one question.
One
we'll
last
wrap it here.
question.
If it's not a good question, I got another one. Having bartended in Atlanta and bartended in Denver, would you agree with this statement? Because I heard it recently and it blew my mind. It said, Atlanta is to black people what Colorado is to white people.
No, because Atlanta delivers.
Atlanta actually delivers. I fucking love it.
Denver is now shitty California.
Okay.
Everybody was like, hey, I don't like California. I don't like their policies. And they moved to Denver, and they were like, what if we made this exactly like the place we just left and
Oh,
fucked
true.
it all up?
So
Atlanta won't
Denver's the
change for
California of the
nobody.
middle of the country.
It is now.
There you go. Okay.
My family's from Denver, so like I always grew up wanting to live there.
Okay.
What I liked about it was a big city with a small town feel. Now it's like overcrowded, overrun. Everybody goes there to smoke weed, which I love smoking weed. I'm a big fan.
There you go. All right.
We're getting to the point where the whole country can do it, but you know what I mean?
Okay.
What I like about Atlanta is Atlanta won't change for nobody.
No,
No, so I actually lived in like the conservative part of Colorado because I lived in Colorado Springs, which is like the one little pocket that's conservative in the whole state.
Yep. Also Lakewood.
Also Lakewood. Okay, okay.
Lakewood's scary conservative though.
It's where they shot the purge. I have no idea. It's where the idea
It makes
came
sense
from.
actually. It's actually
It's
kinda-
where the idea
that's
came
actually
from.
kind of fucked
Yeah.
up.
No,
in a
but
unique
like,
way.
Yeah.
but pretty much everywhere else, like even outside of like rural East Colorado, where it's close to Kansas, most of Colorado is super fucking liberal.
Yes.
So I was in like the one conservative pocket in Colorado. So it was.
I went to go visit Ricky. I saw 5 black people. I know. I'm
That's-
not.
I'm
I'm not
telling
even
you, when you
making
go
a
to-
joke. I spent the weekend with you. I saw like 5 black people. 2 of them worked at the airport.
No.
I don't pee, my bladder's gonna explode.
Mo-
Yeah.
Most
way to pause.
minorities,
Go pee.
most
Go pee. I'm
minorities.
so
Go pee.
sorry.
He'll talk to me when you come back. We're gonna do it. Yeah.
No,
Talk to me. Yeah.
Is there a downstairs bathroom?
No, it's right. Yeah, it's right there on the left.
No, I will say most minorities you will see in Colorado are going to be of the Hispanic variety.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the proximity to Mexico and Central America.
Yeah.
Because like they start in Texas
Yeah.
and they kind of
And
well,
then-
they don't start in Texas, they've been in Texas.
Yeah. yeah. Like,
They don't start in Texas, they've been in Texas, but
yeah.
But in those like southwestern states, that is where the Hispanic population is very prominent. So that's probably going to be your dominant minority,
okay.
as opposed to white people.
And they just hop skip Colorado or not Colorado, Oklahoma, and just keep going to Colorado.
I will say in Denver, there's going to be a lot more black people than in Colorado Springs. And outside,
Oh yeah, well, because the Broncos are there.
Well, no. I'm saying like
I know. I was making jokes. Sorry.
outside of the military, because you know, like you ever hear that Gary Owen joke, like, oh, you want to get out of the hood, like,
yeah, I got you.
yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
So I mean, there are black people in Colorado Springs, but I think that in general, the majority of black people that you will find in Colorado are going to be in Denver.
True.
Outside of that, it's fucking Whitey McWhiteville for the most part. It really is.
It's weird why you left. I thought you would loved it.
I need a big booty Latino.
Yeah, you maybe get a Bolivian. Maybe there's only like 7 of them in the whole county, but that's what's I didn't know Colorado Springs was like the quote unquote suburb white area. Of Denver,
No, it's well they're like 70 miles south of Denver. So
sure, okay, yeah, I don't.
So we're pretty far south of Denver, but I will say that we are like the only conservative pocket. So you'll see a lot of.
Good.
Like I did have a brief period where I actually like waited tables for a couple months when I first moved there, just as like a side gig to like make some extra cash, and
so good because there's no black people, right?
And no, because there would be people that'd be like, oh fucking Trump this, Trump that, and it would just be like awkward ass conversations. I'm like, I wasn't even talking about politics. Like, why are you fucking talking about this shit?
Weird.
I literally just asked you like,
liberal,
I just asked you what you were drinking. Like,
well, Trump would have loved it.
Trump would have loved it, Manhattan.
I get the ads.
No, I had the same experience. So I worked at it was the Denver Athletic Club. That was like my my nicotine patch because I was like trying to take a break from bartending because my ex-wife was a teacher. So
wanted to get you out of the industry. I get that.
Yeah, so she wanted me out of the industry, and I was like, I love the industry, dude. So like, I gotta get my little fix. Yeah. And I went to Denver Athletic Club, and it was like one of those things where like I would just have somebody be like, it's crazy about the black, like they go on this thing. I'm like, dude, I'm not the one, man. Like I'm not.
I promise you that those opinions.
So I went through a guy liner phase. I wanted to wear.
I wore
aggressive guy liner. I gauged my ear, and I was like, I want everybody to know, like I'm very low key.
Oh, you were just going aggressively against whatever the system was there, and you're like, guys, don't talk to me about this shit. Yeah. Don't talk to me about it.
I just was tired of people being like, what's crazy about Jews being able to work? And I was like,
I actually love them. Look at my guy liner. Okay.
Yeah, no, look at the guy liner. Obviously, I'm in LA. And
Ricky, Ricky, what do we got? What do we got on this guy?
I'm gonna say bar friend.
You're gonna put it on bar friend? Okay.
I think overall,
I want to know why. Yeah.
I think the fact that he talked about how as a bartender, when he would try and pick up women, he was like, there's protocols. He's like, you got to make sure they're not like he wasn't super predatory or anything like that.
Yeah, but he also said that if he sees someone else doing what he was doing, it was kind of predatory.
Wait, what?
No,
I think you said, when I asked the question, if you see someone doing what you were doing back then, poaching after first dates, how do you view it? And you're like, it's kind of predatory.
I've never poached.
Oh, okay. Then I misunderstood.
Because he was like, I have a very strict set of rules and guidelines.
Yeah,
I heard. Yeah,
he had a CRC. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
CRC, that's real.
So I'll say that, and then just the fact that his one time getting kicked out. I mean, you gotta think like military dudes. It's not uncommon for them to get kicked out of bars. Like, let's be honest. Like,
oh, dude, we get kicked out. It's at the Marine Corps.
If you want to talk about the percentage of people that get kicked out of bars, like military people are probably at least 33%, at least a third.
Yeah, you're probably right.
These people defend our fucking country, so I'm cool with it.
No, but
I'll kick you out. I'll kick you out of my bar because I don't want you there. But when the war happens,
no, because
here's the thing.
That's because they're mentally trained to kill, not to like be socially adept. That's the problem.
Here's the misconception. As a person in the military, everybody looks at that and they're like, "Yeah, you're trained to kill." And it's like, "Yo, I worked with these people. They're not trained to do shit. Like they're not killing nobody. Like
they're just passing tests."
But like you get this like ego, and then here's my issue: is like it's a balancing thing, right? Like after Vietnam War, we treated our veterans like shit, and now we're at the point where like veterans are on this weird pedestal, and there are people who abuse that system, like people that shouldn't.
For free Applebee's.
Free Applebee's, free whatever, and it's just like, you know what I do on Veterans Day? It's my favorite weird tradition. I pay for my food. I go there. I don't mention the fact I'm a veteran until afterwards, and they're like, "Oh, do you want this meal taken off?" And I'm like, "No, dude."
You close out the check. You're like, "That's for you." Also, I'm a veteran.
All right,
and then walk out.
Another reason, bar friend.
That's a reason for bar friend. Okay, all right.
What? So he doesn't want to get a free fucking meal, like.
I shouldn't deserve that. 5 years of me getting fucked up and doing shit. No.
What do you do for Memorial Day?
Memorial Day is for me.
Okay.
I've lost friends in the worst possible ways. Like not like what you think. You think like fucking
Found out his
We
wife was
quoted
cheating
the
on
best
him,
the
then he
best
shit himself
military
in the
movie
bathroom.
actually.
Yeah.
What was that?
Jarhead?
No, not Jarhead was actually.
Jarhead's good.
Jarhead is actually how it feels.
You talking about
because,
Brothers?
No. We're talking about that Pearl Harbor. That was the best.
That's the That's the.
Ben Affleck really crushed that role.
Get the fuck out of here. To me, bar friend 100%. Just because, not because I know you, not because I've known each other for 14 fucking years, and I've known you as a fucking teenager.
Which you didn't even know about.
Yeah.
No, I knew him.
Well, you
then.
knew, but you didn't know.
I didn't recognize him 14 years later.
I did help defuse the hitting on your girlfriend thing.
You didn't help that at all. You did not help that at all.
No, by like knowing you, I was like, hey.
But
we
also
got
at the same
common
time, like I'm not gonna hate a man for having good taste.
ground. At the end of the day, that's how I
Same.
feel. Like I've never once
not,
gotten
like-
mad at a woman for getting hit on. Usually, what I'll do if it's to avert, like if the guy's like being friendly about it, I'm like, yeah, girl, enjoy your attention.
But, you
But
know,
like if they
there's
get
a line
avert,
where they need to be
if there's a
like,
line, I'll be like, hey, by the way, I'm this person.
I think this
whatever.
guy's crossing this line with you. Can you like maybe?
But the
shut
funny
that
thing
down? 'Cause
is,
it's not my job
when
to
they
do that.
cross the line with them, they usually cross the line with you. And then it becomes tricky.
Nah, if my girl gets hit on,
Jonah
I take
Hill
it as-
tricky. We didn't even talk about Jonah
I take
Hill,
it as a
dude.
compliment.
I'm
We don't
so
have time for
upset.
that. We don't have time.
I know we
Yeah.
don't. I just love.
I'm gonna give
talking
you
to
bar
guys.
friend. Ricky's
With
gonna
that
give you bar
said,
friend.
bar
With that
friends.
said, bar friend.
Boo, 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 boo.
You get the black bar friend shirt. There's no color. There's no rhyme or reason to it. That is for you. It's the medium. It's a V-neck because I know you wanted to show off the little.
I do like the chesticles.
I know.
Gotta show off
yeah.
the
Get that
crystals
for you.
that
Thank
you got
y'all.
pre-coitus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Maybe push coitus so you can get some better crystals if you get your up.
I hope
Maybe.
so. One day.
Maybe. It's a
All right.
process. But
And
we love y'all. Thank y'all for coming.
Cheers.
As always, episode 60. We're doing this. Degraded and humiliated and broke my spirit. That is literally my pickup technique for everything.
like, I don't even have to give 100% dick. Like, I'm a pillow princess.
He's a pillow. I like having the